everybody, welcome to an episode of Game Talk. We're going to be analyzing this title that is I think either my favorite game or my second favorite game of all time, and that's Dead Island. It won so many awards, and it was such a great trip to play, great experience back in the day. There's so much things you can do, there's so much things you can experience. You're in this resort over on this island called Benoi, and the natives just infected everyone with this virus, and you are kind of like, how is this happening? I'm just this random person, why am I not getting infected? I've been bitten multiple times. And then you start to develop these superpowers, and you're like, ooh, superpowers. And you gotta break doors and stuff. There's so many elements to this game that just like little touches. It amazes me whenever I play it. I'm like, this stunning graphics, stunning voices. Another couple things that people seem to miss is that this game has like really high game experience. No, like in-depth. I forgot what the word is, but it gets you involved. Like, makes you feel like you are the character.
Sir, looks like you've had enough.
And you are legitimately scared when there are zombies running after you. Especially the ones that scream.
Make sure you get there safe and sound.
And there's other elements to pull you into the story. There's recordings, and there's these elements of, you find different information about the resort. You find different information about each of the characters. And the characters, even besides the main characters, you feel something for them. They're done so well, they're written so well as characters that you feel something for each and every one of them. You start to care about them, they want you to do legitimate tasks, and they feel something, and they lose people that they love, and you're just like, wow. And the sound for the soundtrack goes along perfectly with it. Like, right when there's a sad moment happening, it just slowly comes in with the sad music, and you're just like, wow. Oh, and the design of the enemies, it was the first of its kind to have multi-layered degradation. So like when you hit an enemy, like its skin will fly off, and then when you hit it again, like you'll get muscle, and then all this stuff, like until you get to like the bone, and then you can cut a limb off for its time. It was just amazing. And the quest system can be tedious after a while, but it's still, they're quests that you would probably go on, because people are idiots. And they'd be like, hey, I need you to go get my diamond necklace. Yeah. So we're moving on to Act 1, actually focusing on the story, and this is where it starts to have some faults. So the story tries to pull you along this string of events that are just kind of nonsensical at times. Like, you need to go get juice for people, which is counting as food. Oh, and the fact that energy drinks give you health is kind of like bad message and ridiculous, but the interactable objects, they're nice. All the objects are pretty much interactable. At least most of them. The layout of the maps is really clunky. Negative points for that. Like, because you're going upstairs and down, and it looks nice. Yeah, I get it, but no. You could have made this all flat, and it still would have had the same effect. I don't need to be running up and down. Like, what kind of resort has this many stairs? What kind of resort? And there's no elevators down there either. That's really shitty. I should probably inform you that there's 4 or 5 different types of enemies. There's a casual walker, there's the infected, there's thugs, which we will see in a bit, there's boomers, and which are really big guys that spit acid at you. Tanks, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, and they're just these massive guys in straight jackets. No, there's butchers. In the 4th area, they didn't introduce any new enemies. They just kept the ones that they had for the past 3 areas, and I was just like, I thought that was a thing you were doing, but now you're not. And that was the only interesting thing I was looking forward to. The car mechanics of driving the mechanics of driving are really clunky. You crash into stuff all the time. It's even worse than Far Cry 3, which I thought was really clunky too. It's really hard to set up a first-person driving mechanic without getting a lot of bugs and mishaps. The story isn't entertaining enough to play through it again just for the story. Up to a point, I'd say it is. Up to, I'd say, the third map. Once you enter the third map, it's just boring as hell. Boring as all get out. Like, you don't care at all what's going on. You're just like, there's finally people, like, there's finally other humans you have to fight. Like, a lot of them. There's some in the area before that, in the second area, but it's just like, you're so done with it. You're just like, I already have a bunch of overpowered guns. Nothing really matters right now. Same thing happened in the second game. So same thing, people said the same thing about the first game that they did in the second. I think a lot of the reason why it won Game of the Year is because of, like I said, it has great mechanics and it was really innovative. But that's it. The story got lazy. And the mechanics of multiplayer were a bit lazy. It's really hard to drop in and drop out a lot of the time. Like, you have to turn on single player. I mean, you have to turn on multiplayer or else it'll be in single player, which I do not understand. Like, it should just be automatic. The enemies, even the big ones, get stale. Like the big old bad ones, like this one you're gonna see up here real quick. You get tired of it. You're just like, I don't give a shit. Just let me get this game over with. Because you want to see, oh yeah, there's this big finale, right? And it isn't. It's just kind of like, meh. You think it's going to be a big finale? And it's like a hard battle, I guess. It's harder. It should be what the other battles are for most of the time. If you get my sense. Like, the levels of difficulty should be increasing throughout the game. But the last battle is what the next step up would have been, I guess at the third map. Because it does get a little bit harder, and you are way more terrified of the enemy in the second map because he charges at you. And you can't stop him and you can't shoot him from the front, and guns really don't work very well, at least the non-modded ones. So you're screwed either if you have a really powerful gun and you can't run up to him and knife him because he'll just charge you and probably insta-kill you. But after that, the third map, the butchers aren't really that hard because you have cars all the time that you can drive around in and smush them with. You can just get in the car and smush them. So that's lame. In this map, it's okay because it's just the intro, so you're like, it could get better, it's cool. But after that, meh. The third and the fourth map, the fourth map's okay, you're in a prison. But by then, you're just so sick of it. You're just so sick of it. The third map kind of ruined it for everyone. And the story in the fourth map is just like, why do I even care? Like, they're prisoners there, and they're just like, you need to help me. And you're like, why do I even care? You're a convicted criminal. I don't even know what your crime was. And I'm not saying because of those reasons it's a bad game. It's not. It's a good game, but it gets boring. It's only good for about one playthrough. For normal people. But I'm not normal. Even the final boss battle was like your first battle in the second map with a tank. You're just like, I don't know what to do, but he's more like a thug, which is the easiest enemy from the first map, than any of the actual hard bad guys. So you don't really need a strategy, you just take your 4 players and shoot the crap out of him. Even with normal guns. With modded guns, it's like 2 bullets, done. So it was a good game. I'll give it, for the mechanics and everything, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. For the story, I'll give it 5 out of 10. And for the level design, I'll give it another 5 out of 10. And I switched my story to a 4, because of Cinnamon. Stupid Cinnamon with its irritating voice. So the average score is around a 7 out of 10. So it brought it up from its shittiness into a place of okay, but it's still not that. The bad parts are really bad. Thank you all for watching. See you next time in another episode of Game Talk. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me what I can do better. I am HateherZombie, and I'll see you all later.